Hello, welcome to the Ballybogus Literary Festival lineup announcement with me, Curious O'Toole, and, and my friend and colleague, Mrs. Uh, Raging,
Mental.
Raging Regina, Raging Regina O'Riordan. She speaks 14 languages, I think. Is it 14 languages? Anyway, let's get on with the show. A panel discussion. Join us as four white middle class privileged women and one woman of colour talk unironically about diversity in literature. The Poetry Workshop. Come attend the workshop with Limpid Larry O'Connor, author of the poetry collections Birds Are Lovely and his second collection, Isn't It Mad? Participants will be subjected to an hour of pointless exercises that will not make you any better of a poet than you already are. Larry will fill you up with forced platitudes, self-help musings, and ideas cobbled together from other writers and productivity gurus. Release your inner mediocre poet. Cost €50 and a free bag of Teo.
Mediocre poets unite.
And a little brand can of Coke comes at no extra cost. A reading and discussion from middle class Mary Horden. Mary will read in a drab, uninteresting way from her dry, bloodless novel about the life of a dead 19th century female artist no one remembers. She will then engage in boring conversation about this dreadfully dull book with her pal, the poet, Jenny Moore. They will both try to convince us that it's a great and important work, and what a wonderful service has been done to bring the life of this one dead woman from the countless lost lives of the 19th century to our ever dwindling attention. A spoken word show. Come along to this dynamic and inspiring and wonderful and powerful
And empowering
and emotional and laughable 20-minute set. The very same one that he's been doing for the last 5 to 8 years from Ireland's most popular spoken word poet, Dublin Derek Brady. Del Boy will deliver his quaint sentimental verse and discover Ireland sponsored poems in an over-the-top, dramatic, chest-beating way. He might even shed a tear for the rivers of Ireland. Sorry, I need a minute. Expect a disingenuous comment or two about how angry and upset he is about the way the world is gone. Trevor Gorman will read from his latest novel, Young Men Get Better. A visceral, emotional exploration of a group of carefully chosen young people from every demographic all hang around together and talking lingo and slang. They must learn to get along or make the world a better place. That the young men will have to do as they are told. And in particular, the young white men must learn to give up spaces to others and let their emotions out. Trevor will tell us how he observed the young people and learned so much about their world. And also that his agent only agreed to represent the book if he put more ethnically diverse characters in the book and made the lead character a super intelligent and wise beyond her years girl, and to shoehorn in an autistic young man who teaches the others that not everyone thinks the same, weirdly enough. This is sure to be an inspiring, uplifting learning experience for all who attend. A bit like Sunday morning Catholic Mass of old, but with a secular flavour, of course. We wouldn't want to offend anyone. Another pointless panel discussion will be chaired by Roger O'Toole. You know that guy who for some reason has been selected as the posh sounding radio TV guy who loves books and loves to talk to writers and ask inane shallow questions to them about middle of the road novels they have written. A bunch of these novelists and short story writers will sit on chairs on a stage, sharing a mic to answer Roger's facile sycophantic probings and try to make their weak, flat, tedious book sound much more interesting than they are. If you would like to sit in the audience with the other most boring people in the world and have a stupid question about one of these inconsequential works of literary fiction, please come along. And don't worry, there'll be plenty of seats available at the event, as the event takes place at the same time as the Champions League final, which most people will be watching instead of being at the literary festival. The launch of the latest literary journal, one of Ireland's most prestigious literary journals, The Galloping Horse, will launch its summer issue. It will be launched with speeches by fiction editor Moira Planta Flannery III and poetry editor Niamh Dunmanway, with another long speech on top of that by big head man editor of the journal Nigel Yorrett. Readings from a selection of contributors will be had. 3 poets with MAs in creative writing from Queen's University and 1 from Trinity College will read weirdly and purposefully incomprehensible poems that are unmusical and all sound the same. And 1 other activist poet will read their poem about how much worse they have it than you lucky bastards. 2 fiction writers will also read from short stories about the moon, oranges, and how this relates to the psychology and oppression of the Guatemalan fruit pickers. The other story will be just the rambling ADHD thoughts of a pseudo-intellectual, and everyone will pretend it's genius stuff. Some will even compare it to Virginia Woolf and Lydia Davis. Most will just nod their heads and agree, and not dare say anything in case the others think they're ticks. Wine and Pringles will be served. A talk, or rather, a diatribe, in which a po-faced academic lecturer will in all seriousness stand at a podium and try to convince us that Ocean Vuong is a better writer than Tolstoy, Proust, Ovid, T.S. Eliot and Pound, because they had wives, money, problematic opinions, and he, Saint Ocean, is from Vietnam and is gay, ergo, axiomatic, truth to power, so on and so on, in the name of Rainbow and Feather Boa and the Foucault. This other nonsense will be backed up by a couple of hack writers of unreadable trash. And the night with the good old boys and girls. I can't do that.
Why? Come on.
Actually names people's names. So.
Anonymised on the fly.
Okay. And the night with the good old boys and girls.
Martin Johnson will read from his latest novel.
His latest novel.
About an Irish working class woman who never curses, that emigrates to America and falls in love with a soldier or some shit. Martina Maginty will read from her new novel about an Irish family in the 20th century, and they are all depressed about one thing or another. A brother dies and the father won't talk to anyone, so the sister writes a book about it. That's it, really. The Irish Times says it's a bravura, triumph in delicate prose. She is bound to get a nice few quid from some big award. John Cox will give a reading from his last 6 books of poetry that all seem to be the same book written again and again. He will give that Rye, Queen's University, Heaney era poetry that never really had much fire or moxie or power to it. Lots of slyly smart, well-made, sleepy poems to finish us off and send us all home to bed. Please do not tag and tell everyone. Please do tag and tell everyone how gorgeous and wonderful the festival was, so we can get the funding for next year and bring back most of the same people we have on each year. Remember, the world is a scary place right now, and we need small literary festivals to make bourgeois people feel safe again. Thank you for your money and support. Very good.
Thoughts, criminals, hoods, and miscellaneous. Thoughts, criminals, hoods, and miscellaneous.